I've really been enjoying the work. And sometimes when I'm sitting there chewing on something, your face will appear and go, get happy, get happy. I was wondering if you would give that to the audience.
That's the skill, isn't it? Be happy. Can you do it in a quantum leap fashion? Can you have momentum going about something unwanted and law of attraction dishing up more that matches it, and then all of a sudden change the momentum of that any more than you can get your train going 80 miles an hour that way and suddenly make it go 80 miles an hour the other way? It's hard on the contents of the train.
No, but it's a good reminder to be like, that's the work. That, if you want to make it really complicated. And I like the mechanics, the universal mechanics that we're kind of studying here, how this all works. The humor and lightness that you bring to it really reminds you that...
That's because there's nothing serious going on here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
what's my question? It's a question of discernment, really, that's been sort of... not troubling me, but just a curiosity where here we are, we're matter, manifested. We're pulling a lot of energy through that matter, and we're kind of discerning engines in a way to serve source energy. Like we are discernment beings. We're here to decide what we like and what we don't like.
You could say that you are serving the eternalness factor of source energy. When you made the decision to come to focus into this body in this leading edge time and space, while you knew the inevitability of adding to the eternalness, you didn't come for that because that is a given. You came for the joy of being able to personally decide and focus and mold and feel the thrill of the energy flowing, the natural consequence of energy flowing through you toward your decisions for the purpose of living happily ever after, not for the purpose of fixing something, for the purpose of the joy. Because while you are all the creator of your own experience, being the deliberate creator of your own experience is where the joy factor comes in. When you have put something in your vortex and you're aware that it's there, and then you've deliberately focused your thoughts in a way that allow it, and then you get to witness the manifestation, the explosion of the ideas in your mind, and then to watch the further cooperative components coming into place. That is the excellence of life that you've all come to live. So what are you getting at?
The question is, so with the discernment, that decision of what you like and what you don't like, in a way, it seems kind of arbitrary. You can't get it wrong. You can't get it done. And then there's where discernment turns to judgment. There's a negativity with judgment.
Well, let's talk about discernment when it turns to judgment. So what happened in that moment? Discernment is acknowledgement. Decision is choosing, but judgment is usually choosing against, isn't it? Let's say that you really are in alignment with who you are. And so you're broadcasting, as our friend was talking about earlier, you're broadcasting a specific signal, and things that match that signal are coming back to you. And so isn't it also logical that law of attraction is about harmony, and sometimes harmony is about this and this going this way, and sometimes harmony is about this and this going this way. Let's talk about the difference between a feeling of knowing that you want to go this way and a feeling of knowing you don't want to go that way. It amounts to the same thing. Your inner being is always calling you to where you want to be, but sometimes you translate that calling to not wanting to go that way. In the very early days when Esther was first receiving us, and Jerry and Esther were living in Phoenix, and another couple was aware of this, that they were not talking to a lot of people about this weirdness that Esther was living. Esther made Jerry promise not to tell anyone, and so other than the people that had sort of gotten them into it to begin with, because they'd introduced them to someone who, it's a long story, we'll tell it to you some other time or never. So they decided to play this game. They said, we will go hide somewhere in the Phoenix area, which is about 50 miles each way. It was a big area. We will go hide somewhere, and you get Abraham to come and find us. And so Esther was not clearly speaking. In those days, she was receiving us on the computer and impulses. We were spelling letters with her nose. It was in the very early days. And so off they went. And Jerry was driving, and Esther was getting impulses from us about which way to go. And sometimes she would say, don't go that way. But what we were offering was go that way. But Esther's translation, don't go that way, which amounts to the same thing. You've come to this place, you're going to go that way or that way. And Esther's, what she said is, don't go that way. And what we meant was, go that way. And so that discernment that you're talking about, on the one hand, you might say really doesn't matter, because if you're not going to go that way, then you are going to go that way. But your inner being is always calling you toward what you do want and is not guiding you away from what you don't want. But in your vibrations of resistance, sometimes you translate it that way. Does that make sense to you? So let's say you decide to go that way, or you decide to go that way, and you decide to go that way, and you decide to go that way. After a while, when you realize that what you think and how you feel and what manifests always match, and now you are deliberately thinking and therefore deliberately causing a feeling, and then you are deliberately witnessing the outcome, you get better and better at projecting your thoughts or presenting your thoughts in a way to get an outcome that you expect. You just get better and better at it. There's a case to be made for just flowing all over the place, thinking whatever you want to think, responding to the wheels that are squeaking the loudest, and being sloppy in your thinking, and getting some of that and some of that and some of that and some of that, which is the way most people are living. Most people are offering their vibration in response to what they're observing. And they're observing a wide variety of things, and so they are offering a wide variety of vibrations, and so they are getting a wide variety of results, but they feel no control in it. It isn't until you understand that law of attraction is responding to your thought, and your thought has a vibrational nature, and that if you think a thought and maintain it, if you hold a thought for as little as barely over 16 seconds, another thought will join it that is like it, and momentum has begun. And if you hold that thought for another 16 seconds, then another thought like it will join it. And once you've held that for about 16, so you barely cross that minute mark, you've got enough momentum going that a discerning person can feel unequivocally what their guidance is offering to them. We're just encouraging you to think and feel on purpose. And so what you might be getting at is, certainly it feels illogical to say yes to what you want and yes to what you don't want in a sort of accepting way. But what you may be reaching for is that your inner being, who you really are, and who you feel best when you be that too. This is really what step 5 sort of kind of is. It's where you're in alignment mostly, and therefore you don't feel guarded and you don't feel afraid. You're sure-footed, you're clear-minded, you're confident. And so then you can look at things that you do not want without feeling negative emotion about it. We want you to be discerning. If you are not discerning enough to recognize that this thought feels good and this thought feels bad, then you have no way of really guiding yourself into alignment with who you really are. The whole result of the source energy part of you existing simultaneously with this physical part of you, the whole consequence of your inner being having a knowledgeable point of view about what you are evaluating right here and now, and the potential of the variance within you in not agreeing with your inner being, the whole point of that is the guidance that comes from it. And so we know there are a lot of people that want to say, well, let's just be completely allowing and let's just be completely accepting of everything. And we say, that's not how this universe has been set up. You didn't come forth to just observe and accept and offer a vibration about everything, and therefore just continue it as it is. You came as a discerning being. You are a deliberate creator. You came to personally acknowledge that you, important you, prefer this to this. And when you have billions and billions and trillions and more numbers than Esther can even find to quantify the number of experiences that have lived and are living, who are evaluating and who are deciding, that creates this vortex of future manifestation and continuing existence and eternalness, then you understand that not only is this contrast inherently important to the expansion, to the continuation. There can be no continuation if there is no expansion. So the very eternalness that we are all talking about is dependent upon contrast that causes discernment, that causes choices, that causes energy to flow, that causes focus, that causes law of attraction to bring to it the manifestation. Everything would cease to be without contrast and discernment of the contrast. And so you don't have to know about law of attraction. You don't have to know about any of this in order to effectively do step one. And a whole lot of people move through this physical experience, and they are step one-ing most of the way, exploring contrast and launching rockets of desires and creating the vortex that is the future experience of generations to come. And you don't have to understand that in order to do it. You're doing it whether you understand it or not. And you don't have to understand that step two is happening either. You don't have to know about non-physical. You don't have to know about law of attraction. You don't have to know about your inner being's response to your request. You don't have to know that when you ask, it is given, and that there is a vibrational version of it. You don't have to know that. And so there is an expansion of the universe that is taking place in the ignorance or without the conscious awareness of humans all over the place. But to be physically focused and to have an understanding of this basis of the universe, and then to deliberately focus yourself into an alignment so that you can receive the actualization of what you've put into the vortex, that is the bliss that you came to live. You didn't come to make eternalness happen. You came to enjoy the personal involvement in that expansion. If you don't have the ability to have a desire, you'll never have the satisfaction of it being fulfilled. And satisfaction matters so much. That's the piece that humans want to leave out. We say to you, there's this triad of intentions, this perfect triad of intentions of freedom and growth and joy. And humans, we love you so much. You say, yeah, we hear you, growth, growth, growth. And we say, it's a triad of balanced intentions of freedom and growth and joy. We hear you, growth, growth, growth. We say, it's a triad of perfectly balanced intentions of freedom and growth and joy. You are so free that you can choose bondage. And growth is an inevitable consequence of being focused here. But the joy factor is the discerning factor that you have. And so when you focus upon the joy, then you focused upon the alignment. And when you focus upon the alignment, then you are in vibrational alignment with what you've put into your vortex. And when you are focused upon something that puts you in vibrational alignment with what's in your vortex, then you are having meaningful, personal, consequential, good feeling, trackable, notable, personal expansion. You're going to expand without it, but to expand on purpose, that's what you came for. That's what you came for. You didn't just come to watch other people be deliberate creators. That's not fun. That makes you jealous. That's not satisfying. Being a deliberate creator is the only place that you're going to get satisfaction from. To let contrast help you decide, and then you use the power of your ability to focus, and then you watch universal forces back you up in your decision. How good is that, you see? Is that deliberateness that is the sweet spot that we keep talking about. Really, if you weren't asking, we wouldn't be here. If you were satisfied in just stumbling into universal laws and not really understanding them, then we wouldn't be here to help you to understand how to be deliberate about it.
Thank you.